that you go ahead and check out the B-Line Entertainment Stuff and Things shop. We got all merchandise that you're looking for. Everything to promote the show. That's right, from hats to glasses to cups to sweatshirts to t-shirts, you name it. Boys, girls, babies, whoever wants to show off that they love watching the B-Line Entertainment LLC. We can't wait to see you in your brand new gear. Come on and check it out today. Let's go! Let us go. Let us go. Please, let us go. Check it out, guys. What up? Yo, it's another Thursday. Third day of the week for the B-Line Entertainment Network. That's right. We've been on 3 times this week. First on Tuesday night, now Wednesday, and then Thursday. This is Thursday, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But it's a special night. Check it out, guys. All right, let me get myself together because this is going to be a really good night, man. I'm not going to lie to you. This got me, like, kind of hyped. Did I remute myself? I don't know. I think I remuted myself. My bad. I don't know how much you guys didn't hear. But what I was saying is this is going to be a really good show. I went through a whole bunch of old entertainment, of course, you know, celebrating Black culture. I saw it was Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and I wanted to really take advantage of that today and really celebrate how far we've come with entertainment, yo. So let me tell you guys, strap in because it's going to be really good. There's a lot to talk about and there's a lot to go over. But first, if you haven't already, please go ahead, head on over to YouTube and make sure that you like and make sure you share and subscribe to the channel. That's how you know that we're on and we're active and we're live. We do these shows live every week, as well as, you know, just make sure that you see what we're doing because we have a lot of shows on Tuesday night. We have the B-Line Web Show. That's where we talk a little bit of everything. We have different segments and we talk with people sometimes to do some interviews and things like that. We have some really engaging conversations that you can join in the chats, as well as if you're a wrestling fan, you want to jump into Straight Through the Ropes Wrestle Talk, baby, because we're talking wrestling on Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Me and the STR Nation, we be in the building. And then we get the Thursday night, the B-Line Entertainment Show. That's where we talk all things entertainment. And tonight we are talking about the Black culture, baby, how far we've come and so many things that we remember from our childhood, especially if you're a 90s kid. We'll be talking a lot of nostalgic stuff tonight. So do me a favor, strap in, get ready, because this is the B-Line Entertainment. Let's go.
The Watch List.
Jurassic World Rebirth.
Now, Supergirl had right? That's all they were talking about was getting some.
Have some more.
Oh, the sloppy.
Sure that I'm not getting in my own way and building my own mentality instead of just allowing it to be built.
And it's a great song. Highs and lows, great hook.
Batman, Master of the Phantasm.
Yeah. Remember these guys?
They missed an opportunity.
Minimal like a freaking McDonald's. Like a damn package of. You think this is orange juice? Let's go. Got a brand new intro for the show. It's a new year. Yo, listen, we revamped pretty much everything with each show. So there's a lot of new stuff. So if you're a first-time watcher or an old school watcher, check it out, yo. There's a lot of new stuff, and we're really excited for you guys to see everything that's going down. Got my partner in the building, about to bring him in. Hi, how you doing, chat? What's up, chat? You like Wolverine? Do you like Wolverine? Ching, 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 Logan. Yeah, I like Wolverine. Why not? What about him, yo? You want to talk about him? You want to bring him up? What's up? Is he watching? What's up, Wolverine? Check it out, yo. Right now, bringing to the stage my partner in crime on the ENT show and pretty much all the shows at this point, my man, Mr. Kyle. Eric, what up, Kyle?
What's going on, dude?
Chilling, man. Yo, it's another Thursday, man.
Yep. You know what it's time for.
Yeah, man. I don't know what is going on, but I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of tired. I am kind of tired today. I've been kind of,
Yeah.
busting my ass lately. Trying to get a lot of stuff done.
Mm.
Especially with the show and just sitting behind the computer looking at the screens for just hours on end. Man, drains you, bro.
That'll make you tired.
Yeah, yeah. But how's everything, man? Good day, long day. How's it been?
Had a good day. Just got some bad news recently, but
Uh-oh.
yeah. But other than that, life itself is all right. It's good.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully nothing you can't take care of and overcome and fix up and situate and getting a straight and narrow. But yeah, man, this is gonna be an interesting conversation that we have tonight because a lot of nostalgia, a lot of kind of reminiscing, and a lot of celebrating too, man. We've come a long
Yep.
way. As far as like, being a part of black culture, like, when we say black culture, you mean, listen, if you black, you black. You know you can do about it. A lot of people argue like it's a decision or something like that. It's not a decision, bro. It's like what you were born into is what it is.
Well, it's like what you wanted to be called. You know what I'm saying? Like some will say Afro American, some will say whatever their cultural like ethnicity is. Like the term black hasn't been like the term black as in black person is like I tell people this all the time. Reason why we call ourselves black, a lot of us don't know exactly where we came from. If I knew exactly where my mom's side of the family came from, all I know is a lot of them are from the South. But as far as like in the continent of Africa, I don't know exactly where. On my dad's side, I can tell you, I'm Cape Verdean. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so your dad knows his lineage and everything?
Yeah.
He tracked it down?
Yeah. I remember my mom had a genealogy test done a few years ago, and it said somewhere in the Congo. It didn't exactly tell her exactly where, but it said Congo, and she just looked at all of us and she said, "I told you I was black." And she's like, and that was it. But that's why a lot of us call ourselves black. I will call myself black, like black all day, even though I'm a nice shade of brown. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
me too. Yep, I'm light brown. I'm
Light
Spanish.
brown.
Yeah,
You know?
got mixtures in you and stuff like that. But it's like, at the end of the day, I feel like you're still part of the culture, man. It's still what you represent.
Yep.
To be honest with you, it's weird. I don't know if I shared this on the entertainment show before, but I am mixed. Like I'm half Spanish, half black. My father's black, my mom's Spanish. But at the same time, my mom didn't really know her family like that. So I was basically only raised with my black side of the family. So that's really all I ever knew. So it's like I didn't have too much. I didn't get a lot of my Hispanic culture growing up, and I'm not ashamed of it in any way. Shit, I wish I'd have get more of that good food and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just kind of how it was. So a lot of times I adapt more to my African American side, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man.
I got a couple of homies I got so many people in my family that I come from a very biracial and very diverse background. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my friends. That's why I don't like half the time. It's like if somebody tells me we're related, you don't even have to ask me how. I'll just accept it half the time because I got pretty much everything represented in my family. It's not. I'm not even joking. But my best friends, I got like best friends and good friends that are biracial, and one of them, and we sat down and actually had a talk, right? Because he considers himself like the whitest Puerto Rican you ever see because he's Puerto Rican on his dad's side, but he was mostly raised with his mom. So it's not like he doesn't want to claim the other side. He just doesn't, he doesn't think he has a right to because he was never raised around that part of the culture. So,
gotcha, yeah.
It's
an interesting conversation, man. I think with like so much diversity that comes into America, and so many people travel, and so many people meet. There's so many different ways that you can, end up. Well, I think a lot of people are so mixed that just from our understanding is where we're, saying and claiming what we are, because there's
Yep.
so much, who the hell knows that I got mixed in, in my genes and my blood pool and stuff like that. We are
Exactly.
a pretty big melting pot
Oh
at
yeah.
this point,
hmm
Indian, Cherokee, you got a whole bunch of stuff that's in you.
So much.
But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, tonight we're gonna take time out to celebrate, the black people who have made it famous, for us to watch, for us to enjoy, for us to laugh at, for us to sing. Um, Now this is a lot, so I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I was trying to cram probably too much into this. I actually had a couple of things I was trying to like kind of build into segments, but I'm like, listen, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk about it, and we're gonna
Mhm.
share some slides with you. But we're gonna put this all into category of the watch list for this show. So
Yeah.
what the watch list is, just to give you a, like I said, revamping everything. The watch list is stuff that we watched. We watch it. We see stuff. We watch it, whether it be new, whether it be old. The stuff that we watch, and then we make recommendations. We also do rate it. For this, we're not going to rate this. Of course, this is going to be a lot of stuff that we've already seen, and we're kind of just re-celebrating and stuff like that. So there's no ratings here, but we
Yep.
do have a 5-star rating system now, and it will roll out in the future episode of the watch of the B-Line Entertainment. But before we do anything, let's go ahead and get you acquainted. I gotta make sure I have all my stuff here. Well, I guess I gotta find it because I thought I had it load up, but I don't have it. But at the end of the day, Kyle,
Yeah.
kick it off and just tell everybody real quick a little bit about what you got going on, man, with A for Able, man. Tell us a
A
little
for
bit more where
Able.
you've been at.
Okay, A for Able. Yeah, we got new episodes on the pipeline. I'm always looking for people, for people to interview. I've been, like watching a lot of reels with disabled creators, and a lot of the stuff that they're saying is like,
Mm.
I gotta reach out to some of them at least. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they got stories of life. It's just
Yeah.
man, and then other cases you got some that are just straight up funny. Like there's been this there's been this video that was been going around. I think like a month or two ago, but it went viral of this woman who's in a wheelchair. She has CP, and she makes a joke. She's like, "If you've ever cracked a disabled person, I salute you for your service." And then
Mm.
and then she's like, "Yeah, I may have brain damage and cerebral palsy, but my main thing is I'm a freak, right?" And
Mm.
I'm like, don't.
Does she have glasses?
She had glasses and a
White
little
girl,
bit
long hair.
and a little bit of slurred speech, yeah. And
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, she's hilarious. She's hilarious.
Yeah,
that
she's
was
a
hilarious.
comedian.
Because people start, oh, and I've seen another one with there's been a redhead. She's a really funny. She's like a really funny comedian. And they talk about that too. And this morning I was reminded of how much people underestimate disabled people sexually.
Listen,
So I was like,
bro.
I'm like, at some point, I gotta talk about that, because usually I don't talk about too much of that on when I'm like doing my podcast, but maybe
Yeah.
might have to shine a light on that.
It's an interesting topic. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely an interesting topic. I mean, I'm pretty sure, just like out of curiosity, because there's a lot of I'm not trying to sound like too much of a freak, but one thing that's really, 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 really is I'm curious about is when people are like conjoined twins and stuff like that, and they have there's the one girl, the set of the sisters that just got married recently.
I read about that,
Lupita or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're funny, and I get it. Like, of course, respect their privacy, blah, blah. At the same time, you got to be a little reasonable. Like, bro, your condition is pretty rare. It's really, I mean, I'm saying, like, you of course, you get your privacy, but I'm sure you have to be understanding. Like, people are curious, man. It's like you're one body with two different heads and thoughts and opinions. And it's like, for you to come together in an act where it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of vulnerability, and then you have to be there with somebody else in a sexual, state. Bro, that's an interesting, very mysterious topic that a lot of people don't have answers to. So, yeah, it's an interesting category, man. But yeah, Kyle, let me know. Hey, listen, we'll get a squad together and let's talk some shit. I'll invite all y'all on my show. Let's talk about some stuff and see where it goes.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I gotta get somebody who's also get somebody who's like who's like an expert, like medically. You know what I'm saying?
For real. Yeah, definitely. Let's do the whole shebang, bro. But without further ado, guys, we're gonna get right into it with the watch list. Let's go.
The watch list.
That's right. Today on the watch list, we are talking about Black excellence in entertainment. Yo, that's just what it is. And we're gonna have this whole conversation until the rest of the show, until we get to the top five. Top five. You want to know what it is? We're gonna be talking about our top 5 favorite Black characters. Now, what I mean by Black characters, I'm not saying it's got to be Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes. I'm saying that can be part of it. But Black characters kind of just categorizes everyone. Whether it's an actor, whether it be a musician, whether it's a cartoon, whether it be a storybook character, it doesn't even got to be a real person. It could be a person that's based off of a show that you like to watch. But we're gonna talk about it. Top 5 in that list. So give me comments and pick it up. Now,
you might want to adjust the mic a little bit, man. You sound like you're underwater.
Oh, it do. All right. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me.
Oh,
fix
now
that.
you sound better.
Am I sounding all right? All right. I might be getting too loud or whatever for it or whatever. But all right, cool. So listen, Kyle, let's go with the let's start it off, man. One of the things when I was, building this up or whatever, the first thing I was getting a lot of, just talking about Black people in entertainment, was TV. Straight off the bat, television. And I know you said that was something when you heard the categories tonight that kind of first popped into your brain.
That was the first thing that popped in my head. Yeah. That was
so go ahead. Yo, let it shine, bro. I'm gonna queue up some of the pictures and stuff we got, and then let's start talking.
Like when I think entertainment, you know what I'm saying? As a 90s kid, I grew up watching a lot of sitcoms. You know what I mean? Grew up watching a lot of sitcoms. Grew up watching your Martins, your Living Singles, your sketch shows like in Living Color, which made a lot of history and gave us the NFL halftime show as we know it. You know what I'm saying? That was in Living Color. Martin introducing a lot of us young kids to Martin Lawrence, and just classic stuff. Everything from Living Single, sister. Yeah, I'll throw in this. I'll throw in the Steve Harvey show. That was funny.
After Cat Williams, now nobody wants to claim Steve Harvey, right?
You know the funny thing is, like everybody can have opinions on stuff, but the sitcom, I like the sitcom. Yeah, even finding out that what he was wearing was a wig didn't surprise me because it was too fresh the whole time. I'm like, the whole time it didn't mess up not one time, really.
He had a piece. He had on a piece.
But a really good one though.
Hey, listen, I don't hate. I mean, I never would even thought about. I honestly never thought about his hair. I mean, Cat Williams got to be the nigga to come out and shout somebody's hair out. What kind of petty shit is that?
Man unit.
Whatever. but like you said, bro, like I really thought about all of these classic shows that I grew up watching. Now I come from a lot of diversity. Like I've watched a lot of things, bro. I don't, there are some people. Let's have this conversation.
Yeah, there
are some people that choose to just kind of stay in their realm. There are some people that choose to say, hey, listen, I like what I like. If I like watching, predominantly Black TV shows and stuff like that, I like a lot of Black actors. I don't really like outside of that. It's not my thing. It's not my forte. Cool. That's cool. Me personally, I like a whole variety of shit, bro. So it's so when it comes to like watching these shows, I get what I get from these shows. I get what I get from other shows that I like. Yeah. But one thing about these shows, I was always able to I don't know, because you're watching it and then you're kind of watching your family and then you're seeing different kind of similarities. Oh man, she talks just like my aunt talks, or he gets mad like how my uncle gets mad, or my dad or something. It's weird, you were able to relate in that way when you were watching these shows as Black people and stuff like that. Yeah. So I used to love this, man.
A lot of stuff is universal, but when it comes to certain cultures, there are things you could relate to, especially if you're part of that culture. Certain what I'm saying, certain way. That's everything from the way we speak to the way we dress. Yeah. Exactly. And how we handle certain situations. A lot of stuff is universal, but but also in a lot of cases, you can relate more if you're watching it and you're and you happen to be part of that culture.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
And that's how I was seeing stuff. Like when we were talking about everything, I was just like, I used to be up and stay up at night, whether
yep.
it be like my family watching TV together. It would always be one of these shows. Like you said, it would be Fresh Prince, it would be Martin, it would be Living Single, it would be Sister Sister. It
Yep.
was it's so crazy. I remember the first episodes of the Wayans brothers when they came on, and of course they had the awesome entrances. At,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't just have like, it wasn't a regular entrance. It was more like, oh man, it was the old lady getting hit by the bus on
The bus.
and you're like, bro, where the hell would you even think
Where,
to come up with something like that?
where
Or
did you? Yeah.
one of the most classic shows, like we were talking about earlier, man, was In Living Color, man.
Yeah.
I don't think people remember just how influential In Living Color was, bro. This show started out the careers of some of the greatest talents in Hollywood. Whether it was Jim Carrey, whether it was Jamie Foxx, whether it was Damon Wayans,
David Allen Greer, Kim
Allen
Wayans.
Greer. Yeah.
Kim Wayans, who came back and now is doing like skits and stuff on YouTube. I'm like, I was not expecting that.
I'm glad. She's one of the Waynes, bro. I mean, they have so much talent in their family. Like their sons are doing stuff now. Like you remember Keenan was the one who basically started putting all this shit together. Keenan and Robert Townsend, which is crazy because nobody gives him enough credit for all the stuff that he's done. Robert
Townsend and Keenan, they like this. I didn't know how tight they were until I saw that interview when he was talking about him and Keenan. He helped him write Hollywood Shuffle. And
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, and I remember watching Hollywood Shuffle as a kid and not getting into because it was a huge commentary on Hollywood and stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know that at the time. Of course, you're not going to know that as a kid unless you were unless you were like really aware that young of an age. But I had no idea. Looking back at it now, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, you can see the similarity, right?
You can see it hard. Yeah.
I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and all the movies and stuff like that. Like this guy started like a lot of fashion. Low Down Dirty Shame. I still remember watching that. And think about it, Kyle. We were kids, yo.
We were kids.
We didn't even understand a lot of stuff we were watching. Like when I was sitting there looking at stuff, I'm sitting there remembering like some of the most classic things I remember from In Living Color. Of course, Homie the Clown. That's one of the things, him smacking people in the head with the sock, and that's easy. Yeah. But when it comes to like, Men on Film or Men on, Careers or whatever it was, like Damon Wayans and David Allen Greer acting like two, gay, just critics.
Yep.
You didn't really understand that shit as a kid. You understood like, oh, they're talking like, like girls a little bit or whatever, but you didn't really understand like the different types of innuendos and stuff that they were saying. And
yeah. And I had completely forgot that they had a skit with a disabled superhero.
Oh man, handy man, was it Handyman?
Like Captain Handicap or something. Yeah.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, but the thing is, Kyle, even though I get it, like it could be kind of offensive. I mean, In Living Color seemed like it was one of those shows where it was still in a time where it was okay to laugh at yourself. It was okay to still like, everything wasn't so sensitive in the area where it's like, oh man, they're talking about me. Now I'm gonna go write a letter and fucking protest outside the building all day. Yeah. It's like the sketch comedy, a part of it needed to be a little bit, reckless and raunchy, man. You had to kind of reach further than what the typical stuff was doing because nobody stood up and wanted to watch you stand on stage and be fucking Jerry Seinfeld, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though Seinfeld was a good show, like nobody wanted, nobody wanted to hear that. Oh man, how about going to the store? Isn't that a toughie? Like, nah, bro. People
want to hear things from different perspectives in a different style.
Yeah, exactly.
You want some variety. I think of it like, because it's art, so I think of it like I would anything else, any other style of art, like music, for example. I don't just listen to one type of like just one type of music, but Yeah, but this is what this reminds me of. And just about everybody in this cast was a star. Like everybody in the early. Whoop, where'd he go? Oh shoot! Technical difficulties.
I'm here. Just making sure I'm doing something real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but like I was saying, everybody in this cast was hilarious. You know?
Yeah, man. It was like they had so much talent, and I don't even think at the time they knew how much they had. Because remember, even the Fly Girls, man, this is where J-Lo got her start.
J-Lo, yeah.
Rosie Perez, like there was the opportunity alone gave people the chance to be seen on one of the biggest networks at the time, Fox, bro. This is where the Simpsons were. This is where all the great shows were showcased, man.
Married with
Children. And then they sat there and put and remember, it was also a time where you still had Saturday Night Live, you still had skit shows and stuff like that were being done.
Yep.
But this focused predominantly on the Black culture, and it gave people a lot of room to shine, man. It's just so much greatness that came from this time period in the early 90s.
Yeah.
When it comes to TV and other shows, there's so many shows. Like I was saying, like I was trying to, get a big giant collection of them, whatever. But at the same time of just having like all of these shows and things that we were watching, you still had cartoons, you still had people who were doing things in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like you had like you were saying, I think you said something about earlier. You said something about like Charlie Brown.
Brown. It was hilarious because I remember a few years ago when Trevor Noah was still hosting the Daily Show.
Daily Show, yeah.
Right. They did a MLK special, and they were talking about how no, I'm mixing two. I'm sorry. They did a whole segment on Franklin, because it was the 50th anniversary of Franklin at the time, and they wanted to shine a light on how he was created, because at the time the comics were still segregated. You know what I'm saying? So in the 60s, and it happened unfortunately because MLK got shot.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So the story goes, the legend goes like, I'm going to call it a legend, but it goes like this. MLK gets shot. The world's in like disbelief and discord, and everything is just crazy, right? A white teacher says, we got to do something. So she writes into Charles Schulz, because Charlie Brown, very popular comic strip.
Yeah.
She's like, can you do something? Can you shine a light on, this? Can you create a character? And he ends up creating Franklin, the first Black character in that series, right? And that happened because somehow she got it in her head, the teacher got it in her head, that we got to speak to the people. Who better to do that than Charlie Brown, one of the most popular comic strip characters at the time. So, yeah, it's a very interesting history, really. And,
yeah, really. And it's also interesting how, like, it shows you how important entertainment is as far as like an influential piece. I say it all the time. We have conversations about like, stand-up comics and stuff like that. A lot of times it's easier to deal with a situation coming from a light-hearted, environment. So if something like MLK is taken, do you want to talk to the serious reporter or the congressman or the president or all these serious people that's going to have to tell you hardcore facts and give everything to you straight? Or you're going to want to do it in a roundabout way where you can still get the information, but get it a little bit more lighthearted, getting a little bit more understandable, even because it's more relatable when you're placing it in the realm of, hey, listen, take this comic strip, let's add a Black character. I don't know what they did, like, if they addressed it or anything, but they just kind of shine some more light. Like, hey, listen, there's more people. We're together. Just even seeing the visual is more understanding. Like, hey, man, I guess we are kind of together. Now there's a Black kid that's around. Like, it's funny because I always think when you said it about Charlie Brown, I always think about South Park, where they had, and I never realized this until somebody said this to me one day, but the Black kid that's in South Park, Token.
Yeah.
He's a token black kid, and I didn't.
He's a token black kid.
I didn't get that.
And
but
then
that shit is
years later, they shine a light on what his name is actually, because it's supposed to be more like pronounced token, like Tolkien, the guy that created the author that created Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, okay, it took you this long to address that, because they did that. You know how their sense of humor is, right?
Oh yeah.
People were thinking token, like he's a token, and then they switched it to token or Tolkien, as in the author. So they trolled people for years.
That part is so brilliant, man.
Oh man.
The funniest thing is when you can legit be funny.
Yep.
And also troll the shit out of people, or also like make fun of somebody. And like there's nothing you could do about it. Like, you know, you could get mad, you could do all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, you kind of just got to accept it because it worked.
if it made you laugh, it worked. And that's it's very funny today how we got to be, some people would say they got to be more cautious because people are more like sensitive nowadays. And I will always say, okay, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, there are plenty of things throughout history that I can show you that are really, really sensitive. You think people are sensitive now? You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's
I mean,
yeah. Not going to go down the list, but
I you know what I think it is, Kyle? I think a lot of times there always are going to be the people who, no matter what, they want to complain about something, no matter what, no matter how, serious or, kidding around the matter is.
Yeah.
There's always going to be those people who are going to look for a reason. Oh, that color's too red. Okay, fuck it, I'm playing. Like, there's always going to be those people. But of course, now the difference is there's so many platforms available for people to be heard louder than ever before. I think, like you said, it's one of those things. Like, there's always been, people kidnapping people and stuff like that. But now you have a platform available to where you see it more. Every time something happens, you get it instantly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's been revved up, like, by a lot and shit. So I completely understand you, because it is crazy that, and this is something good to talk about, because I mean, this is even outside of Black culture, but it's just like culture in general. Like, it's hard to have fun with the people who make such a big deal about certain things that you can't just laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be with your buddy and say, "Oh, come on, bro, lighten up. It's funny, bro." And they talk about you. Oh, hey, your wife slept with your best friend. Oh, it's funny now, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Damn, I guess I got to laugh now. You know what I mean? You can't just have that punny, shitty kind of, raunchy. I love impolitically correct stuff. And that's one of the things that, talking about these shows that we have right here, shows like Martin. Here's something right here. Did you hear about the it was I don't know if she's a celebrity or not, or if she's like a content influencer or whatever. But this girl was talking about, she came out and said, oh, she didn't like the dialogue with Martin, where Martin was always cutting up on Pam. And basically saying all this stuff about, oh, your hair and this and that, you got BDBs and you look like a horse and all this other stuff or whatever. And she was basically on some, of course, new generation. She didn't grow up watching the shit or anything. But, she saw it and she was just making these statements. I feel that's wrong and blah, 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 this and that. And everybody that's watched Martin, that loves Martin, that's been in love with Martin for whole life. I don't know, a Black person who doesn't love Martin. It's like, yeah, you got a point. But your point really is like, you just have it to have it. Because everybody who watched this show enjoyed, they know that was their dynamic. They cut up on each other. It was just one of the things that happened. But there was always love. Martin always had her there. It was like, But you don't understand that. You're just taking the negative section that can be taken and fucking and exposing it
And
and
did you
trying to
ever
gain traction from it.
and did and think about it like this? Because I went back and watched some early Martin episodes and learned about the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. Number one, they all homies. Like everybody on that set, they were friends.
Oh
you know what I'm saying? And what you call it? The woman that played Pan, Tisha. Can't, please don't mess up her name. She's a queen, man. But at the same time, did you ever see her back down from any of Martin's jokes? No, not one time. And how many seasons did that show have? 5. Like, not one time in 5 seasons did she ever back down from any of his insults. She came back harder. She came. She came back harder.
Tashina. Tashina came back.
Tashina Campbell. Look, number one, they are vets. They have been on stage and screen for at this point. It was still early. You know what I mean?
Childhood,
yeah. But they had both been on stage and screen forever, and they made sure to write stuff for each other and improv, where everybody was pretty much on the same level playing field.
Exactly.
It didn't matter. This is why they're still remembered, not because not because one was insulting the other for being a woman or being anything else like that. I'll tell you, man. It was they were playing around, and then they saw who could riff on each other the best and see who could break. Like, I love it when comedians get other comedians to break. Like in the middle of the tech.
Those shows back in the day. I mean, those were like classic for that, bro, because like you said, man, they were just on there a lot of times and they were just having fun. One of the ones like on Fresh Prince where Carlton, another like great character, man, to where I was trying to debate when I was like doing my top 5 list. Like I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to put like a whole segment just for like the sidekick guys or whatever, whether it's Carlton and Will in the Fresh Prince or Cole and Martin.
Yeah.
Cole was so goofy, bro.
So goofy.
Everything he would say or do, just different things. It was like $12 million. I'll kill you for $12 million. Cole, man, $12 million. I'll kill myself. And just be so stupid with it. Like, but Carlton, they had Carlton was doing something. I forgot what it was, but it was one of the episodes where they had told Carlton something, and Carlton just went super dramatic, and he started running, and he ran
throughout the entire set.
The whole, and then at one point he got on the ground and he started crawling with his legs,
crawled on his knee, with his hands, and I'm like, bro. I don't. If I remember correctly, now somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They did not know he was gonna do that.
No, they didn't. It was spontaneous, and that's why. But they left it in the show.
Left all of it in
because it was too fucking funny. It was like there was nothing you could do about it. It was hilarious, man.
This guy was hilarious, and he would get they would give Will the you're not black enough kind of lines for him because the way he was raised, right? And then it would come, and then that would come back again when they went to college, and these frat brothers try to call him out for not being black enough. And he's like, I'm going through the same struggle you are. So why are you trying to trip me up? Like, right? Because even though he lived in Beverly Hills, he's still a black man.
I remember that episode.
They
were at that frat party and stuff like that. And they had the freaking black gloves and the glasses and stuff. I remember that shit. Damn, I remember that shit.
And it's because he's not like militant Black Panther black enough for them. They're trying to call him out. I'm like, he's still a black man. Yeah, he's rich, and his parents came from his mom's from the hood. First off, nobody.
Where Will's from?
Come on, OG and Viv, they both came. She came from West Philly, and then you had his dad who lived in the South during segregation. You know what I'm saying?
Such great story for you know what I'm saying when you break it down, because of course the Fresh Prince is, of course, one of the hottest intro songs of all time.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows it to this day.
Mhm.
But then just like the dialogue of the actual show, man, a rich family in what is it?
Bel
In
Air.
Bel Air, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, in California, whatever.
Yep.
They got a butler. You didn't see stuff like this really on
I
TV
think that
back
was
in
the
the day.
first time. I think that was the first time I realized that there was black people in the UK. This is how dumb I was as a kid, right? When I heard Jeffrey's voice
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, "Oh, there are black people over there." I was like, I had to be. This show came out in 1990, so I had to be like 5 or 6
Yeah.
when
Very young.
So I didn't. It did not, because I'm an American. I never
Mhm.
grew up over there, so how would I know at the time? You know.
Yeah. So out of this picture right here, let's go
Mhm.
ahead and have some fun.
Yep.
Who do you think, just judging, first off, let's start here. Out of this group right here, which one of
Yeah.
these would you say was your favorite show?
Out of this group,
Yeah.
you know what? Because dang, these are dang man, these are classics.
There are, man. It's a hard one.
This is not. You did not want to make this easy for me at all, did you?
What's an easy one for you to dismiss? Let's go there first. What's the easy, if you had to start taking ones out? What's the easy one that you would take out first? Okay, this is definitely not going
out of this group.
Yeah.
To be honest, none of them. But if I had to, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I watched all of them.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose right off the bat, no, I can't do it. Dang, this is hard, dude. Seriously, I can't do it.
I would take, for me, it would be Good Times.
It would be Good Times?
Yeah, Good Times. I can dismiss. I didn't watch all of it for sure, but Good Times is one of the ones that we're gonna talk about it more. But it was one of the ones that you grew up kind of with a Nick at Night and stuff like that. Like when we were younger, these were the shows that were coming on Nick at Night and at late at night when everybody was going to sleep and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, my only issue with Good Times is, Good Times has a controversial history around it too.
It's like everything.
But the biggest thing that I always found kind of crazy is they never made it out the hood.
Well, isn't that more realistic though? Because I mean, realistically, most people don't. I mean, realistically, you kind of grow up on the same block, and this is if you're lucky. In those weird situations, like
you
have a house that you can grow up in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is very, and it was like, this is, but the unfortunate part about that is, while they were a great family, and while they had some awesome personalities and everything, and young Janet Jackson involved and all that, all of that, man, I will never forget her mom. I would never. Ooh,
Janet Jackson's mom.
Oh my God, that whole thing was just sad. Like that whole saga was just sad. And I wanted to be like JJ, because JJ was the artist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why it's sad for me is because, according to what I've only recently known for the past year or so, the original idea, the guy that helped develop the show was not given credit. He wasn't given the proper credit. He was he was a writer. He worked alongside with the rest of them, but he doesn't get the credit, and he feels like they owed him, and it's sad when you think about it, because the history is just coming out now, so, but it's still a great show, and it has an awesome theme song. You know what I'm saying? Once again, awesome soulful theme song. I miss theme songs.
Yeah, I miss all of that shit. Intros, everything. Hey, yo, Kyle, you want to hear some crazy shit on the same topic?
Stop.
Intros, bro. Right? Like it was one of the fun things that made a show fun. And then fast forward, sometimes they still have a couple, but they may be a little short. Y'all just saw the intro that I just made for this show. Mm-hmm. Like, one of the things that I like about the intros that I make is because I try to incorporate a little life into it. Like I try to show you, like, hey, when you watch this, you can watch my intro and you can kind of get the general tone of kind of how we do things here, what we're talking about, how we talk, we're laughing, we're doing this. You can get an understanding of how we do things a little bit here.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised, man, how many times I hear people say, and it's not all people, but how many times I hear people say, oh, that's too long, and oh, it's too much in it, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, I bet there is. It's too much for you. You can't handle it. It's a 50-second clip that of nonstop, just fucking, back-to-back stuff happening. But it's like, back in the day, you used to have Family Matters, another one. Yep. Awesome songs that to this day they recollect with you. Every time you hear that theme song, The Fresh Prince, every time you hear that theme song, it's not why you watch the show, but it's definitely a giant part of the investment in the show.
Especially if it's really recognizable. Like we could talk about Fresh Prince all day. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that one. Good Times, you get yourself, a soulful one. Cosby Show Cosby Show, they remixed that theme song every season. They even had a Spanish salsa version, right?
I loved it, yeah.
And they went jazzy, they went funky with it, and then during the 90s they went early hip hop with it. It was but it was very recognizable. As soon as you heard that first few lines, and it was no lyrics, it was just instrumental, you knew what you were watching. Or like A Different World, right? That song.
Yeah. That's right. Going from frame to frame, seeing everything that was happening. It was crazy because recently, and I watched A Different World, but that was probably one of the ones that I watched the least. But until recently, I didn't realize, or I didn't remember, that A Different World was a spinoff of the Cosby Shows when Denise went to college.
When Denise went to college.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why or how, or maybe I just forgot because I was so used to like the characters. Of course, like what you call Dwayne Wayne and and Hakeem Whitley and Ron and all that. Yeah, because by the time I believe, so once again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but so they created the song. Created the show around Lisa Bonet's character to keep her on because she was, like she was kind of cutting up during the Cosby Show. They made a show around her to show college life, and they had her in there and a few other people. It was pretty much a different show because by the time they had the formula right, she went back to the Cosby Show. They got rid of some of the OG characters, and then centered it around Dwayne and Whitley and the rest of them, and gave them more room to talk about more hard hitting topics. Exactly.
And by that time, it was pretty much a different show. It was night and day. By the time we got to that season,
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, and that's why I think a lot of the times, and I mean, you can't watch everything, but that's why I think with that show, I wasn't the biggest fan. I wasn't invested as much in A Different World, but my shows were when I was younger. Of course, Martin, no, hands down, my favorite. Like we were not missing an episode of Martin. And then of course, Family Matters. Family Matters was on Steve Urkel. We used to call it Steve Urkel when we were younger.
Because after a while, it was mostly about him.
It was pretty much Steve Urkel. But I did, and it's crazy. My son watches it now. Like he was just in the living room earlier watching old episodes of Family Matters.
Nice.
I loved the original Carl and Harriet and their dynamic with the kids in the house before Steve Urkel was really an invested character. I really enjoyed. It was a good family sitcom. Like it was really good.
Believe it or not, that was a spinoff too.
Yeah, that was a spinoff from Perfect Strangers. That was another show that I loved with Balky. We loved Balky, bro. Like that was one of the things that, Harriet was the receptionist, I think, at the place where they worked and everything.
I think she was an elevator operator when that was still a job.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember the intro to the I think final season of Martin? Yeah. Oh yeah, the CGI. Martin,
I'm
I'm
the
the man.
man. Uh,
Do-do-do-do.
Me and Babe, we talk about this all the time. Like we love classic sitcoms. I think,
Yeah.
hey Babe, isn't A Different World one of your favorites? It's Martin and A Different World. You love those two the most?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, she got
yeah.
good taste, man. Martin is my
Oh,
favorite show of all time. Martin and Fresh Prince are my two favorite shows. But I mean, I say that in a realm of like, there's as far as favorite shows go, I could probably name 50. Like,
mhm.
I'm too old just to have like four. Like, come on, bro. There's so many
And
great shows out there.
but you know what it is? It's also because we were in that generation that kind of, and I'm not the first person to say this, but we were the generation as far as entertainment goes that kind of bridged the gap.
Mm.
We were watching, yeah, stuff that our parents were watching in reruns, and then we had our stuff later, like later
Yeah.
on. So we could go back and forth and appreciate something like a Good Times or the Jeffersons or
Yeah.
shoot On the Family, Three's Company, all of
Mr.
those shows.
Belvedere. I used to
Mr.
watch all of that
Mr.
shit, bro.
Belvedere.
Yeah.
I love Lucy. One of my sisters, she's a big I Love Lucy fan,
I
right?
love Lucy, bro. Yeah. I used to
So
watch
we
that all the time. Yo, I'll take it back even further for you. I think I've said it on here. I used to go back and watch Laurel and Hardy, the old school, like the
wow.
fat and skinny guy. I used to
Yeah.
watch them, Abbott and Costello. I used
Speaking
to
of a
watch all of that
dynamic
stuff. I
right
love
there,
that
you
stuff, bro.
Three
Yeah.
Stooges. Yeah.
Three
I haven't
Stooges. Yeah, the Little Rascals. Like
no Little
we
Rascals.
kind of we were brought up on that stuff because my grandfather used to show us stuff like that, and then
Mhm.
we get into it, and it was funny, bro. We had really funny slapstick comedy where the guy would have the board in his hand, he'd turn around and smack the guy in the back of the head, he'd get up, put his hat on, and he'd turn back around, smack him in the other way. Bro, the shit was legendary to a kid.
We love slapstick. We loved violence. That was just, like
We did. I mean,
we
it
we
was violence, but it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, like a bloody fight or anything. It was
no,
just
no, we knew it was fake, but
random.
still.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I highly prefer A Different World over the Cosby Show any day. Okay. Never really watched Martin. She didn't watch Martin, she said.
Mm.
Martin, you gotta get the Martin, you gotta get the Martin time.
Yeah,
You
what's
don't
up?
gotta get into it.
What's up? What's
I
up?
love
Yeah.
Martin, man. Martin was what made Martin so funny? Okay, this is what made Martin so funny. Martin was just the whole crew worked. I think that's
Mhm.
one of the biggest things. Step one, Gina and Martin are like to this day are still people's, despite the real story shit. To this day, Martin and Gina were one of the most classic black love stories of all time, bro. Like that's just
Yep.
one of the basis of black love. That's like Prince and Princess. And the
Mhm.
way that Martin cared for Gina and the way that Gina loved Martin and stuff like that, it spoke volumes to people. So you loved watching their engagement, but then you also love watching, Martin and Tommy and Cole, their antics, Pam and Martin's dynamic with them, cutting up on each other.
Yeah, like a brother
The
and sister would.
characters, yeah,
Mhm.
just like a brother, sister, or extended family or whatever. But then, of
Mhm.
course, Martin had the characters too, bro. Like all
Yep.
the different characters he would play. There'd be times in Martin to this day, I would forget that when like you'll see Gina and Pam and
Yep.
Shanae,
And Nene.
and I'd forget. Wait a
That's
minute,
Martin.
that's
Yeah.
Martin. That's not.
I, for the
That's
longest time,
Shanae.
time,
Yeah,
I could tell that everybody else he played was Martin. Aside from
yeah.
aside from the little kid, but
Roscoe.
Roscoe,
Yeah.
which go Jerome,
Mm-hmm.
his
Yeah, Roscoe,
mother,
Jerome, Bob, his mom.
his
You
mom,
had
but
the
Shanae felt like a real person. Like
yeah,
there was something about Shanae, even though now I could see his face, but it was like
yeah.
Shanae just felt like it felt like she could have been her own person for real. She could have been her own character. If they did I'm gonna be honest, if they did a spinoff with just Shanae, I'd watch.
I'd watch it too. I would. There was a point. Remember, it was a few years back where they had I think it was the BET award show or something like that, and
Yeah.
they had it was a clip. It was a small clip of Shanae
Yep.
Martin on Martin,
Yep.
Shanae's character and Wanda, Jamie
Oh,
Foxx's character
Jamie
on The Living
Foxx's
Color.
character.
and they were
Listen,
playing like bank robbers. And
listen.
I'm sitting there like everybody in the world was like, okay, when's this shit coming out? Take my money.
Make this a thing. I don't care if it's just a 1-season thing. Make this a
Me
thing.
neither. Or a movie or anything. Like, I was so ready for that shit, bro. But yeah, we never got anything from it. But me personally, with this lineup right here, I would definitely, Martin is my go-to show, bro. But it would be a hard one. But the ones that would be the hardest for me would be between Martin, Fresh Prince, and Family Matters. Like I said before, I loved Family Matters. I did love the early stuff, but when it did come to Steve Urkel, and Steve Urkel started creating robots and
got real sci-fi, yeah,
that shit was great. Listen,
great.
And also the love story. Like, no matter what, he still loved Laura. You always had in your heart that, like, man, someday Urkel's gonna get Laura, and you wanted to see that day happen. And that was another, piece that held you on to watching it as much as you did.
Yeah,
it always came down to a love story.
And then they can't. Yeah, and then they can't. He did genuinely love her, but
he loved her.
Like some of the stuff that he would, do was a little, a little overboard. You know what I'm saying? Like just a bit overboard. You know.
Yeah. Wilding out. You gotta wild out for love. You gotta go for it, Kyle.
And he was supposed to be just a one-shot character. Like he was only supposed to be a one-shot character, but he did. But Jaleel White, shout out to him, he did his part so well that they brought him on for more, for more appearances, and then eventually, it became like the Urkel show.
Yeah. What we're gonna do, because we literally just talked an hour about TV. Like I said, I already knew that there was going to be a lot. Just a conversation just off of TV alone. I mean, we didn't even touch all of it.
Right.
But we had a really good conversation about it. And I mean, we still can jump into movies, we still jump into music, we still jump into a whole bunch of stuff. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this a segment.
Yes.
And we're gonna go ahead and do more shows like this. Mm-hmm. And we'll top next round. We'll touch bases on the movies, Black excellence in movies, Black excellence in music, and then we'll even do like game shows. We'll try to do it all. Like we'll try to cover a whole bunch of topics, and then Black excellence now, Black excellence from the 70s.
Yep.
We'll make it a segment. I think it's good. I really enjoyed researching for this and kind of looking up, and apparently you got a lot of info too, Kyle. So I think it's awesome,
I watch way too many documentaries on the topic, or because of YouTube, I follow one too many channels that talk about these things. So
yeah, that I was just talking about this on the wrestling show last night. Like one of the things that I do like about the world we live in, even though it's like sometimes it can get a little much, I do like the fact that you can talk. Like some of the wrestlers now, they're getting invested in going on podcasts, because a lot of the wrestlers that we're watching right now, we're in a weird space where we're starting to get the next transition. Like it's starting to become the wrestlers who've been wrestling for a while are starting to kind of phase out, and then we're starting to get the new guys in now, because we've been watching them for a while now. Like a lot of them been in there for 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like a lot of these guys are going on podcasts and they're talking about their experiences, they're talking about their life, they're talking about their personal life, and it's been interesting. I love that, because with same thing with this, man, you're getting a lot of inside knowledge, having these shows like the Fresh Prince did a reunion show, Martin did a reunion show. Like a lot of these shows are coming back, or they're just doing spin-offs, and they're doing revivals and stuff like that. So we're learning so much about this stuff that we watched from the past now, and it's awesome to talk about, because it's like it's almost like it's brand new eyes on it.
Oh yeah,
because you're getting so much info or whatever.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Steve Urkel might as well have been my earliest awakening of being into nerdy guys. There you go. Urkel made it cool to be a nerd, man. He was cool. He was funny.
Urkel and Carlton.
And Carlton.
And Carlton.
Carlton was fun. Carlton was like one of them guys who was the life of the party. Like Will was like the cool, sly guy, but when Carlton would dance and just throw down, when he got around Oprah, when he got, what I'm saying? It was
when he was on Soul Train.
Bro, to this day, you can't never hear that damn Apache song, Jump On It,
without
without
those
doing the Carlton shit.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. You never will be.
When Alfonso, the character actor, when he was young, that's what he was known for. He was known for dancing.
Yeah, Michael Jackson,
Michael
the Pepsi
Jackson,
commercial.
the Pepsi commercial. He had a whole breakdance instructional video.
I didn't know
Right?
that.
Yeah, I came across it a few times thanks to just people putting random stuff on YouTube and
Yeah,
random stuff
that's awesome.
on Instagram. He had a step-by-step video on how to break and how to pop and lock. And
That's super awesome.
until this day, he can still dance his butt off.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Doesn't he host it? I know he hosts America's Funniest Videos now, but I thought he did something with. I thought it was like a dance show that he hosts as well. I don't know.
I feel like maybe he did. You know.
Yeah.
But some people feel like Will Smith should have done more for him. He's like, when am I gonna like? They're still friends, but he's not gonna, ask his friend. Like he likes where his career, career went.
Yeah, everybody doesn't want to be, the highest. Some people really do enjoy just playing their roles and playing their fields and enjoying. Nope, not everybody wants to be a super celebrity, bro. That shit also comes with a price. And for him, he was in the industry from a very young age, so you don't know what he knows or what he experienced or why he doesn't want to be like engaged in that way. So yeah, I think people live, man. But guys, listen, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm tired. We powered through this episode, and I'm determined to be consistent this year. Like I told y'all, man, I don't give a damn, I can be falling asleep on this microphone. I'm gonna get in here and get a show in. But I really enjoyed this show and this topic, so it's been a lot of fun. But now we're going to take it to the top 5, and we're going to give you guys a quick top 5 of our top 5 favorite actors, bro. No, I'm sorry, favorite characters. In entertainment. But Kyle, you got your top 5?
Yep. A lot of these are going to come off the top of the dome because there was way too many that was going on in my head.
Yeah, bro. Listen, me too. I had to kind of just like Google like black actors or black characters and stuff like that. I was thinking of superheroes. I was thinking a whole bunch.
Same.
But, yeah, we're gonna rock and roll. But let's go ahead and start with our number 5. So I'll go ahead and kick it off. And my number 5 off the rip is definitely, you guessed it, Martin Payne, bro. Martin Payne. Yep. Now I say Martin Payne. I'm not talking about Martin Lawrence. I'm talking about Martin
characters.
Payne. That's right. I love how the one thing I loved about Martin that was always fun to me was Martin didn't give a damn. And that's where I feel like that's a lot where I get a lot of my attitude from. I like also his job. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I'm like, I was doing the same thing. Like, he had his WZUP, the What's Up, the radio station and stuff like that. He was on the radio. He was making his money by being on the radio. He was a radio personality in his town. Yep. He was able to open up doors that led him to being a successful talk show host. So it's like Martin had a lot of similarities that I really enjoyed. And all of his characters and his antics that made me laugh in adult humor as a kid. I understood a lot of it. I understood a lot of the reasons why, oh man, him and Gina are breaking up. Oh man, him and Gina are like, like don't love each other anymore and stuff like that. I was watching Martin. Martin came out in 1992. I was watching Rugrats and Martin. Like weird,
two completely different dynamics.
Completely different dynamics, man. But Martin Payne was always funny, kicking people out of his house. I remember the one time he kicked everybody out the car. Martin didn't give a damn. That's such a dumbass down.
Too funny.
Martin didn't give a damn, bro. So Martin Payne is my number 5. Yeah, what you got, Kyle?
Number 5. Speaking of Rugrats.
Let's go.
Speaking of Rugrats, Susie Carmichael.
Susie Carmichael. All right.
Susie Carmichael.
First black person on that show.
Right? Like
for real.
Susie Carmichael played by a vet, friggin' Cree Summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of a different world, she was Freddie on a different world.
Okay. I never knew that.
You never put that together?
Nah, I never. Like I told you, I didn't really watch a different world that much.
She was the flower child on a different world, right? She was the flower child. She was the one that was always ready to protest injustice, try to bring people together. And then
yeah. I remember her. Okay.
And then eventually she went to law school, became a lawyer in the show. But while she was doing that, Cree Summer was also doing music. She was also doing the voice of Elmira on Tiny Toons.
And Elmira
on Tiny Toons. She was the original Penny from Inspector Gadget. And she did us, and she was Susie Carmichael and a plethora of other characters, but those are the ones I remember right off the bat.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did you taught me something tonight. Yeah, I didn't know that was her.
Yeah, man, she's an OG,
That's
and
super awesome.
and
Yeah.
her music though, she got an album out that came out in '99 called Street Fairy, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
awesome. All
nah,
right.
it's,
Good number 5.
it's pretty dope.
Susie Carmichael.
Susie Carmichael, first black, not the first black character I ever saw on Nickelodeon, but the first one I ever saw on Rugrats.
On Rugrats, yeah. And it was interesting because Susie came in, and remember, because Angelica was like the bossy, the bully of the Rugrats. But Susie came in and she held it down for them. She was like she was the protector. And
she was
stuff
their
like
big
that.
she was their big
She was
sister.
Angelica's
She was the
man.
she was the anti Angelica.
Hold on 1 second, Kyle.
Yep.
Or you can keep talking, but I gotta.
Yeah. She was the anti-Angelica. The only thing is, I think they did her wrong during the movies. I'm gonna say this, like during the movies, because she's in them, but she's not part of the group. Like she's only in there for like a few minutes, and then that's it. You know.
Yep. Susie was always, even though maybe she should have been, but she was always like the side piece character. Like she wasn't. Even when she was involved, like it wasn't like she was in every episode after that. She was just like kind of in episodes that included her.
Yeah.
But remember the sleepover episode where her sister was watching them, and stuff like that, and they were doing everything, and there was the brother was pretending to be like the monster and stuff like. Yeah. Rugrats was a good ass show, bro. That was a good ass show back in the day.
And they had a Kwanzaa episode. One thing I will say about Nickelodeon, they gave us some insight on everybody. It's because of them that I know what Passover is.
Passover with Tommy,
they gave us
Moses.
They gave respect to Kwanzaa. They gave all of that. Yes, Christmas was all over the place, but they gave us insight on different cultures at the time where we weren't really we wanted representation, but it wasn't like as prevalent as it is now. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely, I definitely understand. But Martin Payne's my number 5, so we're gonna jump into number 4. And number 4, hands down, I was trying to think. I don't know if these are in like the best order, but I'm gonna put it out there. John Witherspoon, bro. John Witherspoon. One of my favorite guys. When you say Pops, when you say whatever, the black dad of entertainment. There's no way else to look at it.
Oh, for real. He was always
he really was.
He played that role and he played it well.
Yeah, he always played pretty much the same role. He was always the what you dad doing over there? No, you don't. Boy, no. Friday, one of my favorite movies. We're gonna talk about it today, but we'll talk about it in a different thing. But Friday, when he was the dad on Friday, taking a shit in the bathroom, talking to Craig, it was the most believable black dad. If you know anything about having a black father, it's that same kind of mantra. Did you got that trash? You better take that trash. It's that same kind of thing. It's like that same environment. One of the things I remember him from the most, because I used to watch this movie religiously, was House Party. You remember he was the neighbor. Remember he opened the window. Hey, shut up all that damn noise. I paid $50,000 for this house. And it's just like, if you remember him from that, if you remember him from Pops on the Wayans brothers. All the movies that he's been in. If you know his story with when he came on, one of the things he did before he passed, which I'm so happy we have that to allow him to tell his story. But he was a big comedian, bro, in the 70s when they were starting at the Comedy Store and stuff like that with what's her name? Pauly Shore's mom.
Oh,
all that shit. Yeah, he was a part of that whole set, bro. Like when they were doing stuff, he played the door. He was one of the ones that drove in a shitty car to try to chase his dream. And it's just so crazy, bro. Like such a legend in entertainment, bro. We lost with him, yo. And he was a good stand-up comic. He was actually a good comedian. He talked real shit. He was funny.
I've heard some of his stand-up. Yeah. And that's like. Bro. His son JD, right? Like his son JD really is it. He's carving out his own legacy, but he's carrying his dad's name, and it's and he's doing it really well. He could do an impression of his dad,
a crazy impression. I was about to say that.
Good impression. Like he auditioned to be Pops on the reboot of the Boondocks that never happened, and Yeah, so they wanted, so they brought him in to do an audition. He killed the audition, but then they said they were going to replace him with somebody else. And he's like, "But you said you needed that voice. I can do the voice and play, you know." So, but it ended up not happening. I think they were able to pull out like 3 episodes, and then it got canceled in the middle before they even aired.
Yeah, that's probably why. They probably that show wasn't going nowhere. Yeah, the Boondocks. I don't know why that was such a popular show for a lot of people, but that shouldn't. It should never hit for me. I tried to watch it a bunch of times too.
I loved it. I watched the show. I read the comics because I had a friend that had the that had a compendium of the strips that they came from, and I'm like, man, it would be perfect for them to come out again today because they pushed the envelope before and they talked about like like what was going on what was going on real, and I'm like, there's so much they could touch on right now, so much. You know?
Yeah, definitely needed for the I love the chaos, but what's your number 4, bro?
Okay. This is gonna be out of left field for some, but Afro Samurai.
Oh man, okay, that's a good one.
Afro freaking Samurai. Okay, if you haven't seen Afro Samurai, it's a dope 5-part short series, and it's basically a straightforward revenge story. It's about a black samurai who ends up getting murdered in front of his son because he's the #1 swordsman in Japan. Right? He's the number 1 swordsman in Japan, the strongest swordsman in Japan. He wears the #1 headband, and because of that, he's got a price on his head. And one day, the enemies get to him, slice his head off in front of his son. From that point on, his son wants revenge, and it's basically a straightforward revenge story from there. Starring
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Samuel F. Jackson. He plays Afro. He also plays his imaginary friend Ninja, right? And the funny thing about that is like this story, it goes like, okay, so the company that at the time was known as Funimation, they had gotten a whiff about Afro and the manga because there was a manga that came out first, right? The guy that created it, he was a Japanese creator who loved underground hip hop and samurais and black culture and stuff like that. So he put it all in his comics. And when they were about to adapt it, right? Samuel L. Jackson happened to be, and he saw the like the figure, and he was like, I want to play Afro. How do you argue with Samuel L. Jackson?
Don't.
And at the time he was doing the voice for that, he was also doing voices on the Boondocks. So he was pulling double duty for a lot of people on top of doing movies. So much.
Yeah, Samuel is another just fucking complete legend, man. I mean, probably icon at this point. He's probably always over legend.
Oh yeah,
but, that's awesome.
If you want to see it, it's in a world where part of it is in the past and part of it is in the present. So you see like people dancing to hip hop music, and at the same time they got samurai swords and straight up battles and everything. If you like martial arts flicks, give this a shot.
That's me all day. That sounds awesome. All right, I've always heard of Samurai Ninja, Afro Samurai. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I didn't. I never knew like the origin of it or anything like that. So, all right, that's pretty interesting. All right, we're gonna jump into the next top 4, and then we in top 3. Let me see. I gotta put this in a good spot. All right, number 3, Dave Chappelle, no doubt about it. Like, when he had to be higher on my list because I grew up watching Dave Chappelle through his stand-up. I remember the first time we saw Dave Chappelle. I saw Dave Chappelle was on, of course, Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, and at the time I didn't even know that was Dave Chappelle.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, when Eddie Murphy, when the Nutty Professor took Jada Pinkett to the club, and the comic that was on the stage that was Reggie, that was ripping them apart. Reggie, yeah, Reggie. That was fucking Dave Chappelle. Man, I never noticed that before. But
man, I'll give you another one. Have you ever seen Robin Hood Man in Tights?
Oh yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, which one of those came out first? Because that was the first time I saw Dave Chappelle.
I believe Robin Hood came out before Nutty Professor.
Damn, all right, I would have looked that up. That's right. Robin Hood Men in Tights was when I first saw Dave Chappelle. Because my sister, she loved that movie, bro. And we used to watch it all. We used to watch that. It was the same around the same time. It might have been, I think this came out a little later, but Dracula Dead and Loving It. That was out. We were watching that with Leslie Nielsen and I think Mel Brooks. There was a couple of people that was in there. But we used to watch that stuff all. Robin Hood Men in Tights. Remember he had the glove? He did the guy said, I challenge you to a duel. And he smacked him. And then there was no other glove around. So we just picked up the big metal one and just cracked him with it.
Just cracked him with it.
That shit, yo, that was a good ass movie too, bro. The blind guy that was always fighting, and he was fighting the pole with the sword or whatever.
Yep.
that movie don't get talked about enough.
And freaking Dave Chappelle had freaking the pumps, the Reebok, the Reebok pumps. Remember the pumps?
That's right.
Like,
yeah, that's right. But
and of course, he was the only black one, so they gave him the backwards hat and everything.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, Dave Chappelle. Damn, thank you, Kyle. You just took me back. I didn't even remember that. I saw him in that. So yeah, so he was Robin Hood Men in Tights, Reggie in Nutty Professor, but then of course his stand-up, man, and then watching his sketch comedy, which is one of the best sketch comedies in the planet, the Chappelle Show, where I saw so much really goofy Dave Chappelle at the beginning. Even if you look at him in Blue Streak, if you look at Half Baked, if you look at all the goofy movies that he's done, you would never imagine the intellect of this brother, bro. Like, I just watched his latest special that's on Netflix. Yeah. And he's just standing up there smoking a cigarette, just fucking at one point he was like, Am I boring you guys? He's just talking. And he's just talking in such a fucking intellectual way where it's like he's telling you a message, but he's not preaching it to you.
Yeah. He's
just speaking. But he's telling you what he feels, but he's speaking it in a way where it's like you're getting it, but you don't even notice you're getting it. And then it's like at some point of the conversation, you're like, oh, I see this shit. Like, it's like somebody painting a picture and you don't know what it is until you get that one line that gets drawn. You're like, wait a minute, that's what's it called? He's got that capability with his stand-up, and it's brilliance, man. It's brilliance. To this day, like maybe one of the best that I've ever personally seen do it in that way. Dave Chappelle is phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. So yeah, definitely my number 3.
Yep. Number 3 for me. Yeah, okay. So yeah, number 3 for me. I had to think about this for a while. And it's the whole cast of Living Single.
Living Single, okay.
It's the whole cast of Living Single. Okay, so as a kid, I was like, because I didn't, because it was very, because a lot of the jokes went over my head. But a lot of the jokes, because I was young, but I loved I loved every single one of the characters. Loved Queen Latifah because I was a big Queen Latifah fan. And loved Kim Coles and freaking Kim Fields and everybody. I wouldn't learn about stuff like facts of life and her history until the Nick at Night days when that was on Nick at Night. So I would watch it in reruns. I'm like, oh, I know her, and then it just clicked. It all made sense. But I loved the stuff that they would talk about on Living Single, from relationships, from workplace, from workplace culture to to being an entrepreneur, to hip hop, the hip hop culture, all of that. And I'm like, this is why this is right up there with the classic sitcoms, because it was just so, it was funny. It was real, and it had a lot of, I had a lot to say about both, men, women, how we treat, and how we treat each other, how we see each other, and it was just great. And rewatching it today, it's like, who didn't they have on that show? Like, sometimes I forgot.
Yeah, there was a lot of guest appearances.
They had a lot of guest appearances. Like, one of the funniest ones were probably Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried was up there as a dude who was selling motivational tapes with subliminal tapes with nothing on them, just well sounds. That's it. And they get raided. And Max is trying to find a job because she just lost her job as a lawyer. It was a whole.
Damn, I don't even remember. Yeah, I haven't watched Living Single since I watched it when it was coming, because it used to come on right after Martin. On like Thursdays. It came on like right after Martin went off.
It was a hot, it was a hot show at the time because Fox was still very young, right? Like, yeah, they had the Simpsons, they had Married with Children, but they were still they had a lot of Married with Children, another show you can't do today. But
I love Married with Children.
Married with Children.
Al Bundy.
I gotta rewatch that. I gotta one of my best friends who rewatches that all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's one of them classic ones you can just throw on at night.
Yep,
and just enjoy. Yeah. Nah, but I feel you. Living Single was also kind of like a pioneer in a way because it was all black woman cast. Yeah. And it wasn't too many shows that were like that back in the day, even if it was like, with the men. The biggest one that stand out to me, I used to love Overton was his name.
Overton. Obi.
Yeah, Overton, Obi with
Kyle.
Kim Fields' character. Yeah. I loved theirs. Or remember Sinclair and Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole that whole dynamic between them till this day, and this warms my heart. Till this day, they are all still tight.
Yeah,
right?
They are. I saw them just talking about each other. Didn't Sinclair went through something or whatever, and him and Max were together or something, right? Like it was something recent that they just talked about.
Yeah, because because everybody's got a rewatch podcast now, so they're talking about stuff that's behind the scenes. You know how we're talking about like the wrestlers have a podcast.
I love that shit. Yeah.
All of these, all of these celebrities, classic celebrities, and they all either have podcasts or they all appear at like nostalgic events and stuff like that, and they talk about this all the time. I love getting the inside scoop and behind the scenes stuff.
I love it, man. We was watching it so long ago, and we getting it now. That's a good one. Yeah, Living Single is definitely the women of Living Single, and of course Queen Latifah and herself, man. What a crazy history with her from the hip hop days. We were talking about guest appearances, like one of the most famous ones from her in Fresh Prince. Remember when she came? Oh yeah,
she was there twice. She was on there twice.
I don't remember.
First one, she played some sort of artist who had a crush on Will.
On Will, yeah.
She got a crush on Will. She was like uber serious. She had the the hat on and everything, right? And she was just she was trying to force them to be together, right? Then the second time she came about, she played someone his age, and they did a whole thing about body image and and like things like that. It's like, oh, people are like, oh, you're gonna go out on a date, go on a concert with her, and she's that big and blah blah blah.
That's right. You're right. Yeah, because that's the one I'm remembering. But the other one, I didn't realize. Was that one first?
That one, I believe that one was first. I believe so.
Yeah, because I was young.
Yeah, I believe so. They did the thing where they're the same person. I mean, same person but playing different characters.
Yeah, I get it. But okay, that's good. That's definitely a good one. All right, let's get to the top two. And we're gonna wrap up, bro. I'm draining over here.
You're tired, yeah. I see.
Yeah, I'm definitely fucking tired. But number two for me, I'm kind of cheating a little bit here. Kenan and Kel, baby. Like that's hands down Kenan and Kel, yo. The combo too, Kenan and Kel. I've always, since all that to Good Burger to the Kenan and Kel show, which is one of my favorite shows. If we did a favorite show list, it would definitely be around the top 10, I think. But if we did a favorite black shows, Kenan and Kel would be like number 3 or number 4, bro. I love Kenan and Kel, yo. One of my favorite. Still to this day, I watch that shit and laugh like I just saw it.
Speaking of memorable sitcom theme songs, like because they got Rest in Peace Coolio in there and made it a whole freaking 90s music video. That was a whole vibe. Between that and the original Living Singles theme song.
We are living single. Then Queen Latifah was rapping.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like we said before, like we need. You know what it's telling me, Kyle? We need to do a show about intros, about theme songs.
We do.
We need that.
Let's do it.
We need that. We got that for you, B-Line. It's coming. But yeah, I mean, yeah, just Kel was just on talking about how all that happened too. He said that he wasn't supposed to like do the song or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't want to quote it and be wrong, but he was just talking about how they got Coolio on there to do that thing, and he did the whole thing. They had the whole setup, one of the dopest entrance, theme songs to start off the show. I love every single time I listen to it. I remember I used to read the books. I used to go with my grandfather to this drugstore. Doesn't that sound horrible? Like
drugstore.
to people listening nowadays. But yeah, it was a drugstore. Like it was a drugstore. It wasn't Walgreens or Rite Aid. It was like the only two we know of now.
The neighborhood pharmacy.
Yeah, like something like that. And I went there, and they used to have a book section. And I was young, so he'd be doing his thing or whatever, and I'd be in the book section, just reading different books. And sometimes I asked him, like, "You can get this for me." And one of the ones they had was Kenan and Kel, All Here It Goes. It was a paperback, and it was chapters. And each chapter kind of was playing like an episode of the show, but you'd read it.
Yep.
And man, when I tell you, I had that book, and I used to love that book. I read that book a couple times, and also watched the shows. And that was when Snick was a thing, and Kenan and Kel. When I remember how bad I felt at one point before they started like kind of connecting again. I was like, damn, man, I want to see like Kenan and Kel should be together, like, doing some of these award shows. They're such a great duo. But
really?
Yeah, shit happens and people change up or stuff or whatever. But shout out to them. They're still doing their own thing.
They brothers,
very
brothers
successful
now, and they like, and bringing back Good Burger, like when they brought back Good Burger for Good Burger 2.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun time. They stuffed everything but the kitchen sink in there.
Yeah, it was more like a nostalgia trip because the movie wasn't that good, but it was fun.
I had a good time. Me and Dave watched it together. It was hilarious to us.
Yeah. Had a son, and he was just as goofy as his dad, and had a whole family. Yeah, I liked it. But all right, Kyle, what you got? Number 2, and then we're gonna box out number 1.
Yeah, number 2, Static Shock.
Static Shock. That was bro. That was one of the first Black character cartoons I remember watching every time that shit came on Channel 11. Yeah. I love Static Shock. I'm surprised I don't watch it more.
You know what it is? Like it resonated with a lot of people, especially during during that time. But this is before I knew about the comics, right?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the comics.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was a DC character.
Yeah, well, technically, they kind of moved him into DC. He was part of another imprint called Milestone Comics, which was a different. They had a deal with DC. So basically, they were on the same like label, but it was supposed to be a label specialty for Black and Hispanic characters, like minority characters. So they had Static Shock, they had Icon, they had Blood Syndicate, they had a lot of characters which are now in the some of them are in the DC universe proper. I don't know if we'll ever see another Static cartoon. They keep saying that we're working on it, but but only
I don't know if this is the realm.
But it might be. I mean, they keep bringing them back in the comics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like, I mean, if you're gonna put it on Netflix or something like that, I guess. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Shows just don't seem like they be doing that well lately, bro. Like, kids don't be wanting to watch shit. My kid, I can't get my kids to watch nothing, bro. Only thing they want to watch is these fucking streamers. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if it's just my kids, but I'm pretty sure like it's a lot. Like even my daughter now, like she watches the stuff my son watches, and he just likes watching streamers. Like he'll watch a whole bunch of different I Show Speed, just people who just be on just playing games, doing reaction videos, everything but my shit.
Man, maybe I don't know. Yeah, this is a different time, and with streamers, you can kind of interact with them, and they can interact back. So maybe that has something, to do with it, But
I don't know. Man. I feel like we would watch cartoons that they put out more now than the kids will. Isn't that so crazy?
Oh, actually, It does.
Toys too, same shit. Like we
Yeah.
buy the toys before, like you're putting it out for us, man, because it was our generation. These kids now, they really don't have that same kind of engagement with TV, bro. They don't like to sit down. I see my nieces. I see none of them sit down and like watch shows. They'll sit down and watch their
clips.
phone,
like
clips.
They'll watch clips before they watch a full 20 minute, 30-minute show.
Yeah. Even movies.
Hour long, 2 hour long, forget it.
Man. They lose interest fast. It's true.
Yeah.
But Static Shock is a good one. I definitely remember that cartoon. It was a good ass cartoon. Man, we got to do I was even thinking about putting together a cartoon showdown, but I want to make sure we get a good one and I can really get some really good questions and stuff like that. But all right, bro, let's knock out number one and wrap it up. But number one for me, hands down, I don't care who laughs or talks about it. Number one, Michael Jackson. It's a wrap. That's going to this day always going to be one of my favorite entertainers of all time. I remember growing up watching Michael Jackson. I had to make sure that my kids knew who Michael Jackson was, and it'll never change, bro. Like just so many influential moments, so much music, so much talent. I really hope that the bullshit that surrounds him is at least not as bad. You always hope that, because you don't want to know that the people that you fucking listened to and enjoyed your whole life are all stemmed in evil and shittiness and stuff like that. But it's just like, I remember all the times that we had, and this is thanks to my parents, like we had all the videos and stuff. They were all recorded. His music videos, his concerts and stuff. And we grew up just watching that shit back to back. Me and my sister popping in the VHS and just watching it, imitating the dances and getting the toys. And Michael fucking Jackson, bro, just legend in my book, bro. Number one spot. Sure. Yeah.
Me, I went straight up characters this entire time. I don't think I ever said anything about a real person. Everybody on my list. Yeah, I shouted out the voice actors of the actors, but I was mostly talking about the characters. So, but number one for me, Zach, the OG Black Ranger.
Oh shit, the Black Ranger.
The Black
I'm
Ranger.
down for that.
Because I think he might have been one of the, because at the time I didn't see, like, there were black superheroes when we were growing up, but I didn't see a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So seeing Zach and him also being a dancer and into hip hop and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hip hop keto.
Hip hop keto, Oh man. What's
Mike Jackson forever.
Oh, because Babe is a huge
MJ.
She's a huge MJ fan. She's a huge Prince fan and a huge MJ
Prince
fan.
too. Yep. Prince. That was the classic argument. Who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson? That was the classic argument. Both of them.
Both of them.
Extremely talented. Prince, you put any instrument in this man's hand and he like masters the shit.
Got it.
Prince is phenomenal. Man.
Make a whole album off of one keyboard. He just learned how to play. It's
pure talent, man.
But
like you said, like you were saying about the Black Ranger.
Yeah, it's like because seeing that I didn't know how much of an impact that was going to have on me at the time, because I was just loving Power Rangers because they did karate and they did, and then later on, like watching Walter Jones be remembered for Zach and what that meant to a lot of people. Like people say, oh, do you find it's messed up that they made the Asian girl, the Yellow Ranger, and the black and the black guy, the Black Ranger, and they're like, look, seriously, we didn't think about it that way.
About that bullshit, man.
And then some people are like, if he wasn't the Black Ranger, some people are like, they'll be set up like, wait a minute, so you didn't make the Black Ranger black? I'm mad. Why?
Yeah, he's the Black Ranger. Why? I mean, it made sense to me. He's the Black Ranger. He's black. Okay. Mean, why is that? That's what I was talking about earlier, Kyle. But people just want to bitch.
The stereotype.
Leave
The
it
stereotype.
alone.
Nobody was worried about. At least I wasn't worried about the stereotypes because they were prominent characters. They weren't background characters. They weren't.
Right.
They were not stereotypes. Not one bit. You know. So
yeah, they really weren't in any type of way. I mean, they all knew karate and shit. If
Yeah.
anything, they were falsified. got them all knowing karate and how to kick everybody's ass and all and they're like 48 in fucking high school. That was the only thing they really try to lie about.
Billy's the nerd, but he could whoop your butt, and he had like and people notice how muscular he got over the years, and it's like,
oh yeah, because remember at the beginning, Billy couldn't fight.
He couldn't fight. No.
Yeah, he couldn't fight at all. That's why Jason and them were over there training him. They were trying to get him ready, especially when they became Power Rangers. But yeah, Billy couldn't fight it for shit. Right. But then he really started kicking ass when they went in the movie. If you remember the movie, Billy was kicking ass, bro. Yeah. And then after that, he was really just kicking ass for a while. Mm-hmm. Great show as always, guys. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you so much, Ty.
Thank you, babe. Love you.
Good, yo. Yeah, next one actually, Ty, you definitely probably gonna want to stick around and watch because first off, guys, thank you so much for another episode. Hopefully I brought you the energy because I've been trying to stay up this entire time. But I made it. Yeah, we still did an hour and 35 minutes. But guys, next week, brand new episode we got coming at you for the first time in a while. I've been wanting to do this for a while. We talking horror, baby. It's back to horror. I want to talk about some horror genre stuff. Especially, like I said, I keep talking about it because they're two of the best shows I've recently watched was Welcome to Derry as well as Stranger Things. But also we got From coming back. And if you know From, I'm a giant fan of From. So I want to talk about that. And then just the latest horror movies that I've been watching. I'm about to go watch a couple right now while I'm, probably dozing off. Yeah. But yeah, man, we got all that coming back next week. Kyle, once again, thanks so much for coming in, bro. I think this has been an awesome episode. I really enjoy. Did you like it? Was good, right? Like, talking about all this stuff and
absolutely.
Yeah. I can't wait till we can dive into like the movies because I got a whole bunch of movies already queued up, man. Yeah. Talk about like, black, character movies and everything. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna rock and roll with it, man. We're gonna rock and roll. Kyle, I hope everything's good too, man. I know you say you got some bad news, but hopefully it isn't too bad. And you got some stuff that you got everything get figured out and shit.
It's something it's something I personally could not control. There was nobody saw it coming. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
I hear you, bro. But everybody, thanks you guys so much for watching. We are going to be back next week to start off a whole nother week on Tuesday night and work our way back through the process. But for now, my name is Brian B. This is my man Kyle Eric. And we are going to say goodnight as soon as I get this plate clued up. Stay true, stay positive, pay attention. I love you guys, man. Have a great weekend. See you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you head on over to the B-Line Entertainment LLC YouTube channel, where we have so much more for you. We have the B-Line Web Show on Tuesday nights, as well as Straight Through the Ropes Wrestle Talk on Wednesdays, and of course, the B-Line Entertainment Show on Thursday night. Join us and make sure that you hit that like, hit that share, and of course, subscribe with that bell button for the notifications so you can make sure you're getting all the great content from the B-Line Entertainment LLC.